everyone. It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Obiajulo Olabisi Ubu, and with me are the ladies. Alaja, I'm looking very dull today. Kilo Shele.
Hey, I had a learning curve experience yesterday.
Oh.
I'm a very, I think, abusive young person.
Wow.
So I've learned, I'm a person I like to be nice. Even against better judgment, I just choose to do the right thing. So I had that experience, I've sat on it, I've digested it, and I've learned a big lesson. I'm grateful to God for life.
What's the lesson learned?
Tell us now. I hope it wouldn't change you from being nice.
No, I like to keep it private, and I've learned. Okay. So I'm grateful to God for life. I'm grateful to God for my mom. I'm seeing her getting better every day. I'd love to keep her forever. She should just stay with me, but
and enjoy.
I'm just grateful to God for my children. And we're putting works in place for school. It was my niece's birthday yesterday. Tekia Akashat. Alo Agbaye. That's the first lady of the house, the first granddaughter of my dad. I love you so much. I don't know how I keep forgetting your birthday, and I'm really sorry, my darling. She had to call me. It's my birthday today. She's 4 years old. Happy birthday, darling. I love you so, so much. Such a pretty girl, growing wiser and looking more like my dad every day.
Beautiful.
Thank you. How you doing, madam?
I'm fine. It's my baby's birthday today. He's 10 years old. I'm so excited. I really am. I was up since about 3:34, just praying and looking at him and remembering 10 years ago. And his dad is out of town, so he called him and he was like, well, now you're 10 years old. So you now realize that you're the man of the house when I'm not around. You make sure you protect your mom and your sister. You're the one in charge to make sure the doors are locked, the windows, everything. When something is not working in the house, you call me, you let me know. That's what the boy just was going, yes, Dad.
Was taking it in.
Yes, Dad. I was like, ooh. So he's like, okay,
I'm a man
this comes with responsibilities. I'm like, yes. So I'm really, truly, truly grateful to God for his life.
Any plans for today, for him?
No, for today, because he's in school. So there's nothing but for friends and family. You know, we're doing something.
We'll pick a day.
Yes.
Okay.
And
that's awesome. So since we're talking about birthdays, today is Veronica Dan, a boy's birthday.
Oh, it's true, I remember.
Happy birthday, Veronica.
No one that was even down for me yesterday.
Honestly, she didn't
must drop this cake, who is she?
She has to buy us cake, right?
Yes,
yeah, so
happy birthday, darling.
Happy birthday, dear. Yesterday, my daughter asked her to massage me. I just started feeling somebody pulling my hair. And I was like, so what are you doing? He said, I saw white strand. I saw white hair. I want to remove it. The way I screamed. The way I screamed. I said, leave it, leave it. I'm enjoying it. Leave it. I am aging gracefully. And I love it. I said, but later you say you're a girl. I said, excuse me, I can still be aging and be a girl. You know? But I've always admired people who leave their white hair without dyeing it. And I've always hoped that when I get there too, I would leave my own and rock it the way it is, you know.
Then maybe she should pluck it.
No, I don't want to
pluck it. One, it grows double.
No, I don't want to rush the process. Yes. Don't rush me, please.
I mean, let's just leave it to the way God wants it
naturally. Yeah. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we take the reviews of the newspapers. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, let's start with The Nation. PDP governors, senator meets on party crisis. No need for NCC approval to transmit results electronically. No anointed candidates for LASU VC, says Sanwo-Olu. Another OAU don sacked for alleged sexual assault. Buhari to service chiefs, IG end banditry and kidnapping. CBN raises banks' dollars allocation by 200%. Dollar allocation by 200%. 25 cholera deaths create panic in Ogun. Gunmen kidnap 18 in Kaduna. Who has what story in The Nation?
The CBN raising the forex allocation. Yesterday, they raised the forex allocation to banks to about 200%. So that means they'll be getting $400 million from the $100 million that was the benchmark at the time, daily, weekly, now, to to provide more dollars. Hopefully this, according to the CBN, will stabilize the Naira because they see it's dwindling so fast. Naira has gone to almost 600 Naira to $1. But economists are saying, yes, this is very much needed. There's overvalue of the Naira. His name is Bismarck Rewane, and he believes that this would stabilize the Naira, but he does not foresee the Naira getting to 600 Naira to $1, and he doesn't think that, it will get worse.
We hope.
Well, they are doing this, and we don't think it will get worse. I think it was already, you could project that it was going bad. It was going terrible. But we thank God for what they're doing now. I hope they have more reasonable and a Boyo's kind of solution to this. Yeah. Boyo used to tell us about, that
some
this
of the
method
steps that we can take.
Is not what we should be doing. I hope they do that.
Story, ma'am?
Yeah, so INEC is saying that it does not need approval from NCC, that's Nigeria Communications Commission, to transmit election results electronically. So the National Assembly was debating on the Electoral Amendment Bill, that's Section 52.3, says, which deals with electronic transmission of the election results, and had asked INEC to seek the approval of NCC before employing in transmission of results. And the chairman of INEC's Electoral Operations and Logistics Committee, Professor Ibianu, says that, first of all, the Constitution is very clear on the independence and also mandates INEC instead to, gives INEC the power to mandate NCC. It's not the other way around. Not NCC that would give approval. It is INEC that would mandate NCC on, electronic transmission. And he says that, so what the National Assembly is doing is unconstitutional. And I guess
I just hope their roles are not clashing. They should have spelled out roles right now.
This is clear in the Constitution.
Okay, so the president has given a marching order to security chiefs to find new tactics to battle and end insecurity urgently. So they had a meeting with the service chiefs. They had with the IG of police, intelligence agencies, and some cabinet members, and they were looking at exploring ways, new tactics that they would use to fight insurgency. But the military is promising and saying that Nigerians should trust them and be rest assured that they have the capacity to bring peace to the nation. The meeting was also for the purpose of giving the president, keeping the president abreast with new improvements on the fight so far. So we are waiting to see what that comes about. They also discussed the urgency in dealing with bandits as they are becoming nuisance across the country.
So I don't know why the NSA was missing at that meeting. The National Security Advisor.
But they had the security chiefs were there.
No, all heads of security agencies were there, but the National Security Advisor is the
Maybe he was not available. So let's move on to the Sun. Court grants Nnamdi Kanu leave to serve process on army and others. Doctors give conditions to end 6-week-old strike. Cholera, 10 feared dead in Ogun community. NLC begins review of Nigeria's labor laws. Buhari orders sustained action to end abductions and killings. Senate begins public hearing on Kalu's motion on illegal mining, gold smuggling. Anambra, Goba INEC to display new voters register tomorrow. Igboho versus federal government, DSS court adjourns case to September 17 for ruling judgment. Who has what?
So major headline.
Okay, go ahead.
So the doctors this is a trust issue, fundamental trust issue between the health workers and the government. They're saying the president of the National Association of Resident Doctors was saying that they will not shift ground as long as they continue negotiating with the same people, that they trust in the vice president's character and personality, and only if he gives them that commitment will they go back to work, because he can then, because of the personality of the vice president, stand for that, to talk to his people, to shift base grounds and go back to work. The Joesus to share the same, they wanted to join in solidarity, and they're saying that government has always been two-faced. They always renege on their promises and commitments, and so they want a person that they can hold. They're calling on the vice president to do this. I'm hoping
that he will respond.
That he will respond, and that it will produce results. Because we have two of their kinds in government, and things are not working. The Minister for Labour is a medical doctor.
Yeah.
The Minister for Health And two of them, even the Minister for State for Health, and all of them that are in the same field as them, you know, are back.
Not even able to solve the issue.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in Ogun State, fear has gripped the people in this Areko community. They said not less than 25 people have died from cholera between Monday and Tuesday, and that another 10 people died in Kara as its settlement. So what people are saying is that most of the people who have died are motorcyclists from the north. It looked like they had gotten the illness either from the north or while on their journey from the north to Ogun State. And when they arrived, they started, of course, exhibiting the symptoms. They also say, apart from motorcyclists, the scavengers that go around bins to pick up things for recycling and things like that have also been affected. They said when the deaths were occurring, some people moved away to Kara local government community, and those 10 of them died from there. Then in Sokoto too, they said they received about 6 bodies of northerners who had died, mostly motorcyclists, who had died in the Ojota local government here in Lagos. And it also showed that they had those same symptoms. So these are the scary numbers out there. And government is insisting, SDGs is insisting that government should make it compulsory for people to follow proper hygiene and also sanitary facilities are put in place.
Waste collection is at the core of this. Arepo and Kara local communities are just by the town here, after Bega here. Very close to Lagos communities. So I think we should have our own strategy on waste collection, proper, you know, cleaning of markets and all those places.
They also need to check their living conditions, because most of them are really not living in
most
very
of them,
good places.
Yes.
So I wanted to take the cholera story. So in Magboro community of Ogun State,
It's the same one.
over 10 people
Agboro too is close here.
died from a suspected cholera outbreak. And they said now the community leaders are going house to house to take them, and they have sealed off some places that have already been affected. They said about a woman died in an uncompleted building, and afterwards 2 other people died in the same building. They are sealing off those places that have been infected.
Water, waste collection.
Yes.
We need to be very careful.
Open defecation.
Do we have time for another paper? Okay, let's go to the Punch. States to submit PIA proposed amendments at next FAC meeting. Federal government not owing doctors, other health workers salaries. No going back on bill. Lagos insists. Adamawa backs Wiki. Keep Southwest safe, Oyetola tells Amotekun. Fear grips Ogun community as 25 die of cholera. 64-year-old estate agent allegedly defiles 2-year-old. National Assembly berates INEC as commission insists on electronic results. OAU dismisses lecturer over sexual harassment of students. Who has the story here?
Okay, the major headline. So more states are joining Lagos and Rivers State. Akwa Ibom and Adamawa State have joined, and the Adamawa State House of Assembly, I said it would soon begin processing their own bill and you know, the first hearing of that bill. States like Osun and Ekiti studying the situation before they join, but this is sure because Lagos, according to Lagos, because the courts overruled the state of execution application that they brought, that Rivers State, the FIRS brought to court against the Rivers State judgment, they are sure that they are on the right track and they are not going to go back on this. So the VAT bill is going to become a law very soon in Lagos.
Wow. Oh, okay. Let's take a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. So we are still taking the newspaper reviews, and I have a story in the Punch. 64-year-old Ogun estate agent allegedly defies 2-year-old. So this man, Taiwo Ayotunde, a 64-year-old man, defiled a 2-year-old girl. So according to the story, the girl was, playing in the neighborhood. outside, and he cornered her into the room and had carnal knowledge of her. So the poor girl came out, the 2-year-old. The poor girl came out and was walking. Yeah, it's the same thing. Walked into her room, and then the mother saw her, noticed she was walking funny, and then checked she was bleeding all through. Then she pointed to the neighbor's, room where it happened. They went to confront the man. He didn't say anything till they got the police to arrest him. And he was, telling the policemen that he didn't do anything, that they're just trying to blackmail him. So the girl has been taken to the hospital to get treatment, and he's still in police custody. Investigations are ongoing. Honestly. So you have a story.
Yes, OAU has dismissed a lecturer, Dr. Moso Balaji of the Department of English for sexual harassment. And the university is saying that they have exhaustively deliberated on the report that was given to them by the Joint Committee of Council and Senate, which investigated the case of sexual harassment against this particular lecturer. And they did this because they're trying to show that they have zero tolerance for sexual harassment or any case of this kind. And so after taking time to investigate it, they have had to let him go. So it's good that every time we take these stories, I always take the time to remember how it used to be, where one's person says she had been sexually harassed. Somehow the blame ends up on the girl. But the conversation has totally changed. The schools have taken up the responsibility to properly investigate, and where punishments need to be meted out, they do that quickly. And so, well done for that.
Yeah, that's a good one. So let's go to the Tribune. Cholera claims 2,141 affects 65,145 persons. Attention in Imo over scarcity of petroleum products, closure of banks. Zamfara gunmen are terrorists, not bandits, Akeredolu. 2023 PDP governors meet today ahead of party's NEC meeting. ACF staff slums, dies in office. Bandits kidnap 18 in Kaduna community. A sexual harassment, OAU dismisses another lecturer. We've taken that. 76 million Nigerian adults are illiterates, according to the federal government. Lagos PDP crisis. Court declares no vacancy in 6 key positions. 500 billion suit. Court allows viewing of DSS invasion of Igboho's residence during proceedings. What do we have in the Tribune?
So the Minister for Education made it known yesterday at the news conference marking the 2021 International Literacy Day. And in his speech, he talked about the burden of 6.9 million children who are out of school. He said in addition to that, we have about 76 million Nigerian adults who can neither read or write. And he said that's about 38% of our population of adults. So he says it's important that we invest in education for parents, because usually non-literate parents tend to have children who are out of school. Because if you educate the parents, there's a huge likelihood of making sure that children are in school. So it's important that the government also puts resources towards that. And, we also have the sustainable developmental goals. And he says by 2030, it does not look like we may be getting there, considering also COVID that had shut down schools for, a year, and it has affected, children all over the world. They said if you were to calculate what that shutdown did, it was like taking away 1 year of learning from students. That's minus forgetting what they had already learnt before that. So this is a huge,
it's a problem.
A huge problem here
that we need to look into. Yes, so I wanted to take the bandits. Bandits on Monday night stormed Keke community in Chikun local government area, Kaduna State. I hope I didn't murder that, Miriam. And kidnapped about 18 people. So according to one of the residents, he said that they came through a neighboring community, shot sporadically into the air to scare people away, and then blocked the major road so that police officials cannot come in to rescue the people. They started going into homes one by one, picking out people, and finally ended up abducting 18 persons. However, the state government is aware of what has happened. They said investigations are ongoing. They're trying to chase down the bandits to see how they can rescue these people. This is becoming one too many cases. We really need to do something about it. Moving on to the Vanguard. Gender-based violence must stop in Nigeria, says Osibajo, Sultan, Khan, and others. Prince Charles' wife, Camilla, accepts patronage of Mirabel Center in Lagos. Insecurity. Act fast. Nigerians living in fear. Akeredolu. We are not owing any doctor monthly salary, federal government. Apapa gridlock persists as Toyin Fayinka looks on. Imo government shuts banks over IPOB's seat at home. PDP governors meet over NWC offices. NEC meeting holds tomorrow. That's the stories we have here. Do you have any? Okay, go ahead, please.
Very sad report in the Vanguard took holistic and mentioned names for the corruption that has worsened the traffic in the gridlock in Apapa. So according to them, the gridlock in Apapa has persisted, even though there's the head of the Lagos State Task Force team, Fayinka, who is the special advisor to the governor on transportation. They said that you can see from where the correspondents started the investigations, a group of boys called Ecomog boys, they're popular in the Mile 2 axis, they control Mile 2 axis. I have seen buses. I've been in a public bus once and they paid 500 naira in the morning to this boys. So imagine how many buses will pass. But they control traffic and now they're controlling trucks and now taking trucks. They work with military. It's like a cartel. Everybody gets their part, but these boys execute in Apapa, and this has worsened the situation. And then people in Okota are also crying that trying to divert, to control traffic there and divert some trucks to park in Okota is killing now people in Amuodofin, Okota axis. That, this is almost like the solution is creating more problems. And there's a report in the Vanguard of how at a point, the Ecomog boys just continued to park trucks anyhow, and the entire place was locked down. And he took the help of, I'd like to mention his name, the LASMA official for Amuodofin, Mr. Peter, because he's always been helpful to me as well whenever there's a traffic. And I call, and you see him, I met him on traffic trying to control, and they were the ones who were able to clear that place. So we know who can do the job. We know what we need. If we take out all these people that we are thinking of their interest and put the right people who are uncompromising there, incorruptible and uncompromising to do the job over and over while living and passing that road. This is the same person that would help and his boys who will do the job. So why do we have so many agencies?
It seems like there's a clash of interests because of what they tend to benefit.
This is an appeal to the governor because even this morning, yesterday, cars can't go into Satellite Town.
Wow. The
Marwa Road is under construction. The dualization I took in the paper started demolishing houses, and the tankers will not leave. Is it that they can't give us a period that, they will stay off work so that this work can move easily, but rather they will further cause hardship for the residents? They're packed now on the service lane all the way, so there's inward and exit is a problem. We have just one lane to drive. Things can happen. We can
make things easier.
We can have, love and consideration for others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me take. You have a story?
Yes. So NLC is saying that they're reviewing the laws to make the labor laws here in Nigeria to make sure that it is in conformity with the International Labour Organization. It says that if you look at our laws, most of them are obsolete. Many of them were penned down during colonial era or past military regimes, and that a lot has changed in the world generally, and that you find that most of these laws are too restrictive in such a way that they impede workers' growth and productivity. So they said that they have started the process of reviewing. They've even done like 3 stages of this process. That's they said individual presentations and then workshops with relevant stakeholders. Then after that, there will be a collation of all this reviews, and then a draft legislation will be passed on to the National Assembly. It is good that they are also putting that into consideration because truly things have changed and we need to have laws that are more,
Yes.
You wanted to add something?
Yes, I wanted to take the Mirabel story.
Go ahead.
So this is just to commend Mitoro. The Duchess of Cornwall, that's the wife of Prince Charles, has become the patron of the Mirabel Center. And
The center in Lagos? In
Lagos, yes. The chairperson of the Mirabel Center, Iturezi Anaba, was saying that this, for her, is a welcome development. They see her collaboration with the center bringing growth and progress. This center has reported gender-based violence, has taken evidence, and it's become recognized for fight against rape and sexual violence offenses and all of that, and the reports, the results, and whatever we need for investigation is accredited and been recognized internationally as well. I'm just happy for the center and the work that they've done.
Yeah, we have to go, but I wanted to quickly take a story here. Imo government shuts bank over IPOP sit at home. So banks in Imo State have been shut down by the Imo State government through its agency, Owerri Capital Development Authority, OCDA. They sealed almost all the banks in Owerri, saying that they do not have approval plan for building. Now, these banks are saying we've been here for over 50 years. Some of the structures have been there for that long that they just feel is because they all stayed back for the sit at home every Monday. And so customers were left stranded. All the buildings were sealed off with a red tape and nobody was allowed to go in. That's all we can take on newspaper reviews. When we come back, we take the top stories of today. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. The Federal Inland Revenue Service is currently seeking the approval of the National Assembly to further amend the Finance Act for the purpose of dragging online businesses on the social media to its tax net. Should social media usage be taxed? You can join the conversation and call us on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. And joining us to discuss this topic as our guest co-host for today is Jumoke Odetola. How you doing, girl?
I'm very well, thank you.
So what's up? What's been happening to you?
So many things, beautiful things.
How's business? How's acting?
Great. You're
Everything
pushing
is
it.
good. Yeah. So are you ready? You ready
Yeah,
to
I'm
join
good.
the conversation? So we know that a lot of people have, struggled to make it, make a living. And when social media came, it was like, wow, finally, I can afford to be on I just need my data. I just need to have a phone, a good phone. I just need to snap good pictures, and I can do my business online. And now, the federal government is planning to chook eye inside our matter. Please, ladies, help me. What do you think about this?
With our Minister for Finance and Budget and National Planning all the time, saying that we can borrow, is not our ability to borrow that's a problem. It's about how we generate revenue.
Yeah.
I expected this. I was not surprised, yes, that this was coming. I know that we'll be looking for more avenues to raise money, to raise funds to either service loans or pay back the ones that they have borrowed so far. But Nigerians are not people who really love to pay taxes. Nobody. Nigerians, some people in some environments where you go abroad, they're used to it. Yeah. They make a budget for it. They are ready that these deductions will come out of their whatever they earn weekly or monthly. They're not bothered about it. But we see NEPA at our door. We have used light to. We say, I won't cut my wire. If we see water corporation, why should I pay for water? It's not free that God gave us. If you see anything, Nigerians love to get their things free, and that has largely affected how we do things. And this also is how the big man, who has all the money, thinks. So a big Nigerian who should be on the tax net, who certainly should be, will get the waivers, would get the tax moratorium, whatever they need to do to even shorten the tax. So it's not about how much taxes that should be collected by the government. I think it's about ensuring that this paddy, me and you, that they're doing within government stops. What we are getting so far is not what we should be getting. You have some big names. Government projects national plans of somebody's business, private business. So that person, of course, enjoys, he becomes the glorified child or prince of the government. He enjoys business waivers, import waivers, enjoys taxes. exemptions, and all of this continue to reduce what we get. Is it the people who have not been able to provide certain amenities for that we're taxing? People who can afford to get on the health insurance scheme, as cheap as it is. People whose yearly income cannot, no matter what they do. So when you go to the markets and they already pay on capture taxes. We just took the Ecomog boys now collecting money, you know, to pass people. So with no taxes, everyday people pay taxes, but rather than do the right thing, remove the paddy and capture the tax that should be for government.
Yeah. So what are you saying? I want to get you. Are you saying that social media should be taxed?
Social media should be taxed. But before it is taxed, don't we have other places that we should correct?
Okay. Got that.
All right. Yeah. So for me as well, I understand the need for taxes. I mean, theoretically, we know what is meant to do. And in countries that work, we see how the taxes reflect in the amenities that people have to, amenities and facilities that are available to the people to use. But you know our story here, where people would say, well, we pay taxes. Well, my road is still bad. I still do not have light. I still do not get water. You know, I still do my own water. I still come together as an estate, put monies together, and we make the road better. So why am I paying taxes when I do not see how it's being used? Well, concerning social media, the social media has become a platform for so many people who otherwise would have been unemployed or do not have any form of making money. That social media came, and then all of a sudden we have a huge number of people who are earning money, doing business, who have even moved their socioeconomic status, you know, from really bad to a lot better. Many people are earning money in such a way that they are comfortable now, you know, and that's all through social media. And I feel that government should encourage this more. You know, we had someone yesterday from the Lagos Employment Trust Fund, and they're saying how they're always seeking to get more people to do jobs. And she talked about digital marketing, and that is the social media we're talking about. Yeah. And I feel that it's still also very new. And when you look at the numbers of the sort of people that are on social media doing business, they're quite young people. Students are on there. Housewives who haven't been to, you know, haven't pursued their career in a long time. People who have like a side hustle. You know, everyone is on there. So before we tax this, let's give them some time. Let's give people some time to get in there and make businesses. Let also the government use the opportunity to improve and encourage entrepreneurship that we're trying to do. And that's the platform. But once you start to tax it now, I think it would be, you know, it would, the government would sort of stop the good that's already coming from there. Many people would want to withdraw from using that and find different means. But for now, I think we should leave social media. And as Nyma said, there are just so many other avenues that we can push and capture our taxes better, because we're not even doing that right now.
I got you, Miriam. Chumake, what's your thought on this?
Okay, my thought on this is tax is a basic responsibility of the citizens, like they have rightly said. But then, when we are looking at the social media, yeah, social media is used for business. It's a creative space. It's also an avenue to showcase ourselves to the world. I would say a lot of youth have done so well for themselves on that platform. And also they've been able to project the image of the country to people who may not have seen them. Just like the case of Emanuela. Yeah. She was a young girl. True. If that platform was being taxed at that time, I don't think she would have been able to explore that opportunity. The Ikorodu boys too. These are people who have done so well in showcasing Nigeria to the world on a positive light, which is what we are advocating for. Which is also because we see a lot of bad news about the country. We see people talking about this, talking about that in the country. But with people like this, have been able to use this platform rightly.
Shouldn't we encourage them?
Yes, they are doing the country proud. They are putting the name of the country on a global map, which is more of what we should encourage. These are people who didn't grow up in. They are making money now. They are doing well for themselves now. That young girl built a home for her parents. Yes. You understand? They are doing well for themselves now. But if we introduce the tax system, it would discourage a lot of young talent. It would discourage creativity. Maybe if we have to do that, maybe we can start with companies, multinational companies.
Rich people.
Because they have that platform. It's also a form of advert for them. So maybe we should exclude the individuals for now, yes, and just focus on the...
I agree with you.
Nyma, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We're still discussing if social media should be taxed. And there's this line of thought that says the federal government did not provide these platforms. Why are they interested in taxing the platforms they did not provide? The platforms were provided by other individuals who saw the market in our country and decided to bring what they had here because they knew that Nigerians would take hold of it and do something. And the intention of the platforms, I don't even think it was necessarily for business initially, but we just found a way to, we can sell anything in this part of the world. Now, why does the government want to impose on something it had no intentions of creating for Nigerians originally?
It doesn't matter. The truth is that these platforms have become billionaires just by the numbers and the market they see here. And in their wisdom, they didn't think to have a headquarter here so that they will employ the people that government is already bought in to try to create employment for. So everybody is on that platform creating employment for themselves. I think those platforms should be made in some way to show responsibility here. Because if they situate their headquarters in any other country, but they make money here, they will pay taxes where they exist. They pay their land use charges, they will pay everything that comes with the land, and other forms of taxes that can get them where they went to situate. But their market is here. So for everybody who does that, now one day, some car companies have taken their assemblage companies to the country in question again.
Ghana.
We're losing employment for our own large number, but the market in every of these companies in West Africa is in Nigeria.
Isn't that our fault because of our policies?
Not just because of that. Because if some companies exist here and they make it work, those companies in question can make it work. But you see most of these companies, their first excuse is Nigerians are corrupt. But these are the numbers that you're working with.
Exactly.
So I don't even want to hold brief for them. I think government should find a way tax them.
But if I hear you correctly, and I think Jumoke said the same thing as well, the government should focus on taxing the companies and the creators of these platforms, and not the individuals that, like us, that latch onto the platform.
Eventually, those individuals Jumoke mentioned, which was what I wanted to say, even though I agree with her exemption, it will work for startups when you're just coming in. So they give you a period to grow. Not when your numbers are amazingly outrageous and the government is still saying you're an individual. You then have money to give back to government. This is my argument. Don't take from the tax the poor and exempt the already rich. Tax is supposed to be take from the rich and create amenities so that the poor, there will be equity or a balance of wealth in society. That's what's supposed to be. But the way we do it here, we further impoverish certain groups of people and further enrich certain groups of people. It shouldn't work like that. The wealth of the rich should find a way to create platforms for the poor and balance of wealth within society. It will curb traffic robbery, the type that Papa is witnessing now. It will curb, door to door. It will curb a lot of things. People will then have dignity in the way they live. All these all these things will reduce.
I really wish you can get our callers to join in on the conversation. Let's hear their thoughts.
So I agree with Nyma, I agree with her completely, really. But also, I think we should realize that there's a reason why sometimes the rich, as you say, and the large companies are giving waivers. It's so that they're encouraged to do more business and employ those that we say are the poor. So we need to create an enabling environment for industries, and so that's why they get those waivers. And it's not forever, there are periods in which they are allowed to do that. But as for those who use these platforms now, going back to the social media tax, we already as individuals pay taxes in different ways. We heard about the 7.5 VAT that just happened in so many ways when we are consuming in other ways. So I really do not feel that taxing us on social media is the best way to go. It's almost like double taxing and overtaxing.
Multiple taxation.
So so we should just, we should put that aside. It is important truly to have these platforms themselves, the Twitters, the Instagram, for government to create policies in such a way that they are taxed, in such a way that they provide employment also for the places in which that they carry out. Because if we're not that important, you could just say, you know, we're shutting down our services or whatever it is here in Nigeria, but you don't do that. Yes, you acknowledge how much we contribute. And in doing so, I think there has to be a form of give back. And government now has to have like a collaborative policy or something that they give back through taxes or some other way. Yeah.
Let's take this call from Benga from Ilupeju. Good morning, Benga.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, you're live.
Yes. First of all, I want to appreciate you guys for what you are doing. This is my first time calling into the program.
Welcome to the show.
Yes. I don't know why we youth of these days we tend to like take what our leaders say. First of all, the FIRS that say they want to start taxing social media. The one that is not social media, how many of them have they been able to get to? I want to encourage the youth of these days not to be disturbed with what our leaders are saying about social media. They can't even get it. They don't even have what it takes to monitor what is on social media.
Wow.
Now they say they want to tax it.
Wow.
Is it not what you have that you can give?
Ew.
Leaders that don't really have what it takes. They can't even brag on the internet. Can they even do business on the internet? Now they say they want to monitor and start taxing. How is that possible? You don't give what you don't have. So youth, I will encourage us not to bother me.
Thank you, Benga, for that. They say the government does not even have what it takes to monitor. But let me even ask this question. With everything we are going through right now as a country, is this the right time to even be thinking about taxing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Talking about that, I think timing is also essential in implementing or bringing out some policies like this. This is not the right timing. This is not what people want to hear. People want a case where their needs are being met. They want some kind of discussions to come into place. So when you're saying this, it's just like you're not giving us, you are not satisfying our needs. You just want to take from us.
And keep taking.
So it brings a kind of aggression. It brings a kind of reaction like, do you hate us? So I think timing is also very important in addressing this. Yes. This is not the right timing at all. It's even if this would ever come up, the timing is completely wrong.
Will there ever be a right time?
There's something the last caller mentioned that government does not have the means to monitor. I think I'd like to agree with him because if government, to catch a thief, you have to be a thief, think like a thief, or don't be a thief, but think like one. You know, so we have stockbrokers helping businesses cut down what they pay to government every year. If I want to get a tax waiver, I donate a building, maybe about 50 million, when my tax is about 500 million. A tax stockbroker, tax whatever, consultant helps me, finds a way to make it.
Pushing it,
and eventually, I just pay 50 million for 500 million. Then the FIRS is busy every day sitting at a tank table when they should have a unit like the EFCC within the police.
To fish out those people,
auditing,
cut corners.
Property, cost of building, auditing prices and saying this is the value of what you have built. And based on this is how much waiver you have. And do not exist. Even if you want to give a little percentage, but not everything. That wide gap happens to big businesses, big names that we have, politically exposed persons, you know, all the time in the country. So the poor man who cannot access even the primary health care center in his place, if he does, they have unavailable drug.
Yes.
He has to buy, he doesn't have the means to buy it. Yeah. He's wondering, why are people coming to my door for anything?
Let's take this call from Christopher from the UK. Christopher, good morning.
Yes, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're live. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to contribute to what you guys are saying now. According to, I think I will go with what Nyma has been saying earlier on. You see, the federal government needs to start with the big guys in Nigeria, with the big companies. Start taxing them rather than focusing on the social media.
Let's say, for instance, now, the Ikorodu guys, they are not registered. They are not registered. They are just showcasing their talents on social media. And somehow, they got rewarded. So are they not saying, federal government, are they not saying that from the reward they receive now, they should pay tax from that? I don't see any reason there, because social media is a different space. You see, before YouTube will operate in Nigeria, before Google will operate in Nigeria, these people, they are already paying tax on behalf of every Nigerian that are using that platform. They are already paying tax to federal government. So now for federal government now to just wake up one morning and say, want to start taxing people on social media, that is totally wrong. Because I think this is a way of shutting Nigerians out of social media. It is not about the tax. It is just a way of shutting them out of social media because they feel Nigerians are using the social media now to attack the federal government. So it doesn't make sense. In the UK where we are now, you can't say somebody who is on Instagram, who is doing his or her own thing, then you expect that person to pay tax. For what? Is that person registered? It doesn't have a registered
a registered business. Thank you so much, Christopher.
Yeah, okay, so for me, what he said, that it may just be government's way of shutting Nigerians out of social media. I don't know if I completely agree with that. I just think it's a matter of almost laziness, like what is the easiest? What are the like low-hanging fruit taxes that we can get? So like what's the easiest one that we can get? So instead of putting in the work of making sure, because that is the one that is most tasking, that you ask maybe those who are the big companies, people who are making a lot of money, people with influence, who are not paying their taxes, but because they know somebody who can affect your job or something, all those relationships that affect people to do their bit. So you're afraid to pursue those people. So you look for low-hanging fruits. Who are the most vulnerable? Who are the easiest to bully? And that is what I feel this is mostly about, not really about shutting people out of social media. And we need to do things a little differently. I think many, I was just looking at the countries who already have social media tax, and they're mostly African countries, East African countries. One of the things that they said is that some of them took the time to sit with stakeholders. It was a process. So we hope that this conversation on social media tax is just the beginning of the process. So we sit down with stakeholders, we have a conversation, and then maybe we look at what particular demographic of this social media businesses we're going to tax. Just like Jumoke said, there are a few companies who also use these platforms to do their businesses. Maybe those particular ones can be taxed. And then what percentage of their business would be taxed? Is it something that is minimal, that doesn't really take away so much from their businesses? So if all those conversations is had, it will be easier for Nigerians, to
Thank you so much, Marian. Let's take this call from Peace. Peace from Ilukweju. Good morning.
Good morning, Auntie. Thank you very much for all that you are doing.
Thank God.
All I'm saying is that this government is just out to inflict pain on the poor masses. That is what they are doing. How can you come and be taxing social media again? The little place that the poor man is surviving from, you want to come and collect from TSC without providing anything for them. The schools are bad, the hospitals are bad, everything is. The little one they are eating from, you want to come and take from them. They have failed us, and there should be no tax on social media. It's uncalled for. It's wickedness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peace. I really hope that before it's passed into law, you know how we do our things sometimes, before it's passed into law, that we have a public hearing where all of the stakeholders will come together. Let's table our issues. Explain to us exactly why you want to tax, how you want to start. Let's have a breakdown of how you... And if it makes sense to Nigerians, I was okay, this can fly as a law. It's for the betterment of, it's the greater good, which is most important. Yeah. But let's take a break now. When we come back, we continue on other stories. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So moving on to other stories, Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, has asked Nigerians to stop saying the country is not working for them. According to him, there is power in the tongue, adding that what people say about the country is what they get. What are your thoughts on this? You can join the conversation and call us on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. But before we move on to this, do you have some tunes from the last?
Olamide Adela says, the government already taxes the formal sector, big companies. We need to formalize more of the economy and derive taxes from all commercial activities where it is sensible to do so. Ebizi Lodge says, there are people doing business on social media that are registered to give their business legitimacy. We have to recognize that, and they may be displaying various acts, but they could have registered businesses. Ola Didi says, there's a difference between company and personal taxes. One does not cover the other.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Boss Mustafa has told us that there's power in the tongue, and we need to be careful about what we say about Nigeria. What is your thought, Jumoke?
Okay. Yeah, I quite agree there is power in the tongue. You can, when you wake up every day, there are certain things you're supposed to say to yourself. It helps you. It helps the way you carry yourself during the day. It helps you. It's just an affirmation. But then, saying that we should see white and call it black is also deception. And I think that it's not also right for us to deceive ourselves. For me, I would say, when people are saying something is not working, is it true? The kind of news we hear these days, are they the kind of news that gives us joy? Do we smile when we hear the news? The answer is no. So if people are saying this thing is not working, it's not a lie. And most times, I think the first step to progress is responsibility, accepting responsibility. That is this thing true? Yes, what they're saying is true. So what do we do?
How do we fix it?
It's just like programming. If A is not working, move to B. So if it is not working, we are not saying people should dwell on the fact that it's not working, and then it becomes a national anthem. No, it's not working. So what's the step to move it forward, to make things better? So I wouldn't agree with the fact that we should see something and not
say it.
But
when we start singing it, because the average Nigerian has a sing song that they use concerning the country.
Yeah, that's the part I have a problem with. Individually, as an individual, we also have our responsibility. We also have ways we can make it work within our little space, no matter what we have, no matter where we are. Individually, I can do something that would influence someone else to do better. I can do something that would touch someone, and then the person would say, it's just like, I wouldn't say because, okay, I'm poor, yes, I need 10 naira now, and I see somebody's money drop, and I just...
And you steal it.
So in my own little way,
you do your
giving
best.
it to the person is also a kind of responsibility. That would also speak to that person.
That we have good Nigerians.
Yes, and that would also encourage that person to also do something. So individually within our space, we have what we can do to make it work.
What do you think, Miriam?
He's right. Power of the tongue, we understand that very much. But I don't know if I come out and say, I have electricity in my house 24/7, and I say it so many times, but there's no electricity. The road to my house, is well laid and well done. There are no potholes. It does not even cause any traffic. No matter how many times I say that, nothing is going to happen unless those who have been mandated to carry out the responsibility of providing those services start to do their job. So I would say for you personally as well, all those that are in government, say to yourself every day, I will do better today. That's the sort of positive things, affirmations you should say for yourself. I will do better today. I will make a difference with my office, with the responsibility that's been given to me. I will stand out. That is where it should start. But to say to Nigerians about the systems that are supposed to be in place, I don't know how we sit down here and we're talking of children being kidnapped. I don't know how many times we're going to say, well, children are not kidnapped. Children are not kidnapped. We'll unkidnap the ones that have been kidnapped and all the ones that are still in captivity. The truth is that Nigeria is not working and it's not working, and people are saying it because it is not working. In so many different ways, Nigeria has stopped working. When you do not have good roads, when you do not have, roads, that's even secondary, education, proper healthcare system. We are talking today about doctors on strike going back and forth. We're talking about ASU constantly threatening strike. Our children are at home, one, because it's either they're afraid, schools have been closed in the north because they're afraid of kidnappers. People are at home because teachers are on, ASU is on strike. People don't get to go to the hospital. When they do get to the hospital, there's no one to attend to them because doctors are on strike. There's no how positive I want to be with my words that will change that unless we step in and start to do something. There's nobody living in Nigeria that wants the country to fail. This is our home. We have nowhere else to go. Many of us, even those that have visas to travel left, right, and center, still want to come back home. That's why people even have their home country homes. They want to come home. They want to be able to show everyone, bring their friends from abroad and say, come and see my own side of town. But we cannot do that if those who are meant to lead us are corrupt. The problem with Nigeria is not lack of positive affirmation, it's corruption. People that have been given the mandate to lead our country, instead of using the resources for what they are meant to be used for, are using the money for their own personal gain. And that's the problem.
Okay, before I come to you, Nyma, let me take this call. Tony from Lekki. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. Could I talk about the tax issue?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I actually think it's a good thing because when you look at our youth today, if they are not led or pressed to pay taxes, they will grow up and feel that because we in Nigeria here, we never seem to grow. So we'll be adults and still believe that we don't have to pay taxes. So they should be paying taxes. Everybody should learn to pay taxes even from a small age. If a parent can tell a child that is earning to pay him for her tithe, then they should learn to pay taxes. Because this is the future of a nation. Because if they don't learn now, when will they learn to pay taxes? It's important we learn to pay taxes from a younger age, as long as we are earning. It's a good thing. And I support the government for that.
Thank you, Tony. Yes, before I come to you, Nyma, where does hope come from? Because I know that other countries have their issues. They have serious issues. I remember, I think I've shared it on this table, the last time that I was in the US. That week that I landed, there were killings on the streets of New York. Like the hotel where we stayed, 2 blocks away, young men were killed. And nothing happened. Nothing. You know, when we watch the movies and we see how everybody just swoops in and, you know, they start carrying out investigation, forensic and all of that. We didn't see all of that. They have their local television where they have panelists like we talking about all the things that are happening that does not make sense to them. Just the way we come here and we talk about issues, that's exactly, and we don't get to see that part. But you don't really see Americans talk ill about their country. Like, really speak the way we speak about our country. They don't do it outside.
They don't call it worse.
Yes. So what do we learn from that? And I think that's what Boss Mustafa is trying to say.
That's what he's trying to say. But Nigeria is not working when people say it means that we don't have proper healthcare, which is why the president will travel to the UK and have his consultants there. Even though we've been talking, he had his first term to bring his consultants to build hospitals here, but it didn't happen. He's still in his second term visiting the UK for medical care. So when they say Nigeria is not working, I think people allude to infrastructures failing. But we've heard Nigerians say the worst things
about their country.
As if we don't have a saying in Yoruba, people, you call good to yourself. But Nigerians, an average Nigerian is stressed in traffic, as if traffic is not where he wants to go in Canada and the US. You say, this country is God-forsaken. These countries, I've heard, as in, so there was a person beside me and he kept on at it. At some point, I felt like I would just faint from the terrible negativity he kept spewing. And I asked him, I said, okay, which of these countries have you been? He said, you know, they say I'm for movies. I said, boss, now for movies, now they swear for the country where they're from born you like
Jesus.
This. You know, your ancestors were here. You did not even make village work. You had to come to Lagos. And you are here. All you are doing is cursing. That means if you were in your house, in the village, in that family will not work. Because cursing is what you know how to do. You know, Nigerians do these things all the time. You're in the hospital, you're having a bit of hardship. wait it out, as if you will not wait
Nyma,
out.
let me take this call from Hassan. Hassan from Lekki, good morning, sir.
We lost that.
We lost
but
that.
you know, Nigerians are in the hospital. We see in the real movies that they show, those ones that are not on the Grammy list, you see them how people queue up in the waiting room in hospitals to see doctors. Some people are tired of carrying the baby. They're calling their systems, their legal, their justice system has its own issues. Everywhere in the world, everything has clogs. You work every time to remove them.
All right, Nyma, let's go to the commercial break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still having this conversation on the power of the tongue. There's something I always know about collective energy. So it doesn't mean that you call black white. It doesn't mean that you say, if you come to a place where there are no basic amenities, you now start saying there are basic amenities when you can clearly see it's not there.
Okay.
But it just means that when you speak about the collective energy, the collective country, you speak good, more like a prophecy. So you know things are not working the way you want it to, but you can say things like, it will get better. Shouldn't that be a way to find that balance?
Yeah, exactly. That was what I said the other time when I spoke. I said, the first step is the realization, and then accepting what we are saying for what it is, and not trying to deceive ourselves. When we accept that responsibility, how do we make this better? We are even talking about, Nigerians are not even people that ask for too much.
Too much, yeah.
We are talking about basic amenities, food, clothing, shelter. You see people going to eateries and they are flaunting the nylon of
shopping mall nylon.
Do you understand? That's not even luxury. Those are basic things. Those are things that you could get for, you understand what I'm talking about. And then, I think what we are also clamoring for is the step. We know that to get to, if I want to travel abroad now, the first step will be for me to get a passport, do this. It's when I want to move out of this place, I have to get out of the door, from the door, get to the gates.
Everything is organized.
Yes. But then when you see yourself moving out of the door, getting to the gate, and then the journey takes me back to this place that I'm seated.
Starting point.
So it's because we are not seeing it. It's not very clear. I think that's the fear.
That people have.
Fear it's not about the movement. Let's see the movement. Let's see things.
Let's see that we're making progress.
Yes.
Yeah, so let me quickly take this call. Dr. Moyo from Ibadan. Good morning, Dr. Moyo.
Proverb that says that I'm not advocating for negative utterances all the time, but when you are constantly in pain over something, that's what you keep talking about almost all the time. That's number one. Then the issue of taxes. When you pay taxes and then you are walking on the road, bad road, or somebody in your family or your loved one has died from road accident, will you be encouraged to pay tax? These are the things. We're not even asking for too much. We're not asking for something that is abnormal or reasonable. We just basic things for a good life. That's all. That's all I have to say. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning, Dr. Moyo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yemi on YouTube says, we cannot compare Nigeria with any other country. We are unique in a way. We are too proud to help the country.
Yes.
Every country have their issues and know how to deal with it. But in the case of Nigeria, it's not the same. This I cannot totally agree with, but to a large extent, I agree. Nigerians want good, we want better, we want this and that, we make demands. But the role that we have to play, as if the government will work on its own. So we are the personalities in the establishments that people go to.
Yeah, we are the government.
You know, we are the personalities everywhere. We are the ones who make things hard. We're the ones who will throw down a file because the person have not settled. We're the ones who people will come to. And then we'll shout, God, this government is so corrupt.
And you are the government.
When you are sitting there, it will not be better for you. Things are hard. We're the ones who...
We all have our individual responsibilities.
So Nigeria, I don't know other countries, but I know it's in Nigeria that they have end-of-year prayer for Nigeria. Because we're talking about collective energy. Nigerians meet at the end of the year to pray for their country so that it will be better. When elections are coming up, in churches, I don't know, for mosques, they're praying for the sort of leaders that... So there's collective prayer and energy. I don't know...
It's different.
When we have that kind of collective prayer, in one voice, people are praying for the betterment of Nigeria. Like in secondary school, when we were growing up, in the Catholic Church, we have prayer for Nigeria and distress. It's something that you're asked to go in and pray and keep praying for your country. What is making... See, we understand when there's a problem, and then it's taking time to solve it. There are steps that are being taken to solve it. There's a difference between you see a problem and you know that nothing is going to be done to solve it, unless maybe someone pays some sort of money. Or you hear people come and say, we're going to do this for this country. We're going to provide this and provide this. Give us 4 years. And in the 4 years, they'll tell you there was a process that was meant to be followed. The process hasn't been followed. Or people will just lie. So that's the thing. We do not, first of all, we do not have a working system. If you feel aggrieved in a country like Nigeria, God help you if you have to go through the courts. I've heard Nyma talk about it. Those are the sort of things Nigerians are talking about. You're going to the hospital. It will take you sometimes to pay someone to get your file out, to see a doctor. Why does it have to be that hard? Difficult. And the only thing is because we would not follow. So the blame is not only on the leaders, definitely. Because I believe
we are the leaders as well.
Yes, I believe that... for every government that the country has, we get the sort of government that we deserve. And I always say it here on this table that the leaders come from Nigeria. They don't fall from heaven. They are part of us. They behave like us. And when they get to office, they behave just like they have behaved when they were not in office. So this is on all of us. But we need... I just don't want to agree with Boss Mustafa because I don't want to give politicians and people in power a pass for bad behavior, for not doing what they are meant to do. We're not sparing them for that.
We're not sparing. So let's take this call from Bello. Bello from Kaduna. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead, you're live.
My name is Fatima Bello. I'm calling from Kaduna.
Welcome.
Hi, Fatima.
I actually want to talk about bad-mouthing Nigeria or bad-mouthing the government. You see, we are saying Nigeria is not working well. Yes, it's actually not working well because looking from my own perspective, from my own place of work now, we have these big people there that if actually they want to do you a favor, they will ask to take some percentage out of what they want to give you. Is it supposed to be like that? So the change begins with us. And I have to believe that if we really want this thing to work, the government are like drivers, and we in the car, if we are bad-mouthing the government, they will drive us to where we are not supposed to be. Do you understand?
Yes, we do.
So we need to work on this. I used to tell myself, because from the view of things, I used to tell myself that if the banditry is everywhere in the north, and we are sick and tired, we cannot sleep. If you should hear anything bam on the gate like this, if I should feel, the sound of my car, I'll be just scared.
Yes.
I cannot wear a nice gown again to sleep because I used to feel they can come anytime in the midnight to come and pick us.
Yes.
We are not safe.
People's reality.
So I myself used to tell myself that if I can get 20 million naira from this banditry thing, honestly speaking, I would, because we are not safe.
Thank you so much, Bello. She said something very important. The leaders are the drivers. We are the passengers. We also need to be careful how we, show support in word of mouth. It's still about energy. So the focus now is not just on what we say, but how they are able to lead us from where we are to where we want to be. The actions they're supposed to take. And it's a collective responsibility. It's not just them, because we are also the government. I think we can wrap up on that. When we come back, we go into other stories. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. The Lagos Sustainable Development Goals and Youth Alliance, SDGs, is the first government-initiated youth-led SDGs action in Nigeria. It is an avenue created for young people to engage, interact, and contribute ideas aimed at accelerating the delivery of the SDGs in Lagos State. Joining us on the show is a Nigerian actor, Jumoke Odetola, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Lagos State on SDGs, Lekon Fatodu, and Florence Otedola via Zoom, popularly known as DJ Copy. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
You have been with us. All right, so let's talk about the alliance with the Lagos State and the Sustainable Development Goals. That's the youth initiative. What brought about this alliance? Why did Lagos State deem it fit to be a part of this?
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody, once again. The creation of the alliance is one of the tremendous works the Lagos State government is doing, particularly our able governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. We identified the fact that, we have a population of young people who have the intellect, who have the capacity, who have the potency to engage in different areas of development. And it is also interesting to know that many of them are actually been very active within the sustainable development space. But there is no platform to galvanize these influences and bring them forward. For government particularly to tap into this amazing pool of talent who are actually selfless to contribute towards the development of Lagos State. So it is our intention to convert that energy, that intellect to positive use, and to identify with them that, we can help to accelerate some of the objectives that they personally have in terms of development funds.
That's awesome. Are you ready?
All right, so some of the SDG goals have been criticized to be, we will say, the insincerity of government. So now you're partnering youth, you're working for government, trying to do, which one do you see as feasible that you're doing, that you're seeing the results and the government has been able to make realistic?
Thank you very much. Actually, the conversation around the trust deficit or insincerity of government that a lot of people talk about is actually the reason why this is created. Even though this initiative is initiated by the state government, it's totally run by young people. And we are approaching them, if you like, capping now to tell them that we identify what you guys are doing. Come and be a partner in progress. We saw what happened during the ferocious agitation that happened not too long ago. And we are looking at some of the issues that came out of that thing is the issue of paternalistic engagement with government. So now we are actually trying to terminate that paternalistic engagement and moving towards restoration of partnership that is aimed at addressing our development problem, where our young people who are doing so well will be at the center of this engagement. So if I need to address that issue more succinctly, I would say that in the part of the goals of the SDG, we have 17 goals, goal 17, partnership for the goals. This is our effort at building that partnership with people who will help us to attain these development goals. And we know that a lot of people, it's amazing how a lot of them, people like Jumoke, Copy, Joshua, a lot of them are saying that for the first time, they are seeing sincerity in the approach of government towards interaction with young people. And I think that is one notable thing in our, sustainability agenda. Similarly, around education, we can see what the government is doing in terms of intervention in technology, empowerment through some of our agencies like Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And a lot of, very recently, you will see some, colorful fiber optic duct, around the city. That's part of the, effort of the government to improve access to technology, which will help us to advance our sustainability endeavors. Thank you.
Okay, so my question is for Jumoke as well as DJ Copy, and it's that, usually there's a distrust between government and young people especially. they feel like there's this communication gap. They just don't get us. They don't understand where we're coming from. What would you say this relationship has helped you understand, and how has it helped the achievement of the SDGs for you?
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very good question. Okay, the SDG is Sustainable Development Goals. It's a UN initiative. It's a global agenda. It's a global goal. So Lagos State government is implementing or is working towards implementing it. It is about humanity. I'm very intentional about the things I get involved with. Very intentional. So this is about humanity. It's about the people. It's about what am I doing? What can I do to help within the space that I occupy? There are 17 goals. There is no way I can run the 17 goals. But there are some of these goals that I'm very particular about, which I have been doing within my space, which was why I was called. It's not like I know anybody in the government. It's not like I went to lobby for the position or anything. When I was called, that, okay, we see what you're using your platform to do regarding this aspect. We want to partner with you. And the aspect I'm very particular about are good health. Okay. Good health, which is the medical, good health and equality.
Yes. Gender equality.
Yeah, gender equality. The good health part. A lot of times when we talk about health, what comes readily to mind is ailment, sickness, but it goes beyond that. Mental health is one area we really do not pay much attention to, and this is very important. Because there is no way a nation can move forward. There is no way the people can move forward if they are not in the right state of mind. Okay, so this is one topic, this is one area I've been using my platform to educate people on. This is one part. I've made movies. I made a movie on it, on mental health. Because this is, people are going through a lot, a whole lot. And then that's why you really can't blame people when their perspective about something is different. Because you don't know what is eating them up. You don't know what, their background story. So that is also one part. Then the other part is gender equality. Yes, the girl child is exposed to so many things. This is one area that I'm very passionate about also. Then we talk about
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Let's communicate with Florence Otedola.
Okay.
Good morning, Florence Otedola.
DJ Copy.
Good morning. Should I call you DJ Copy?
Hey, absolutely.
How are you doing today?
Good. So I just wanted to what you asked. It's a phenomenal question, and there has been a lack of trust between obviously the young people of the country and the government. And I just want to emphasize the best part of this whole project is the fact that it is not Lagos State SDGs Alliance Program. It is Lagos State SDGs Youth Alliance Program.
Yes, yeah.
Now, it shows the fact that the state has taken that initiative to ask the young people, what do you think? What are your struggles? Because we all know the young people are tomorrow's leaders. Now, personally, as mentioned by Jumoke, there are certain, particular development goals that we're all passionate about. Mine is education, so much that I'm unable to join you in the studio because I'm preparing for my studies at Oxford University. And, my that I use my voice in order to just encourage young people. Education is great, knowledge is power, and there's so many amazing things the states are going to do for particularly young people. Again, this whole project, this alliance is for the youth. There's a phenomenal app that is just for the youth, and for the first time ever, young people will be able to give feedback on how they think the government is doing and what can be improved on.
All right, Copy.
This is groundbreaking.
Okay, so how long has this started, and what impact do you think it's beginning to have?
This is a very, very, very new venture. I came on board about 2 months ago, and this is the first time we're able to speak about it. Now, the impact for me, I think it's going to be groundbreaking. It's something that, like Jumoke mentioned, we are aligning ourselves with the UN development goals. Now there's 17 of them. We cannot do all of them. But I think that the impact, like I said, the fact that we do have a platform, and I encourage all young people watching this to join, the platform will be there to create opportunity for entrepreneurship, for mentoring, and like I said, communicate. Nigerians, we are so good at saying how we feel. And guess what? The government wants to hear it, the good and the bad.
Interesting.
So, Jumoke and DJ Copy, how do you plan to influence youth to take ownership of this? We see a lot of frustrated Nigerian youth thinking of alternative means to wealth. They don't have the time to bother about SDGs. So what are you doing? What are you going to do in your individual field to influence people towards this laudable goal?
Okay, first of all, myself and DJ Copy are the only two people in the entertainment space. There are many of us. We have Joshua Lade. We have some great people. Yes,
Solomon.
Yes, and these are people who have been able to do things within their space to impact the community. I think Joshua got a scholarship, an international scholarship.
Yeah,
he was someone
scholarship to study for his master's in sustainable development goals.
Awesome.
And we have another lady, very vibrant and proactive lady, Doyin Ogunye, who has been doing so much. She recently got very huge, support from an international corporation that is domiciled in Lagos State to be planting trees and be improving the environment in Lagos State.
Awesome.
And this has got nothing to do with Lagos State government. Yeah. So the Lagos State government is actually extending further hands of fellowship to these people. We are ready, we are committed to partnering with you. By so doing, we move from this, sometimes agitation to understanding ourselves better.
Does that have anything to do with someone who listens?
Yeah. So my governor is a listening governor, very proactive and so much in love with young people, especially young people. I am happy to say that we are actually developing a society of new think tanks, new tribes of development advocates who will change the face and the journey of prosperity in Lagos State.
Yes, Mr. Okay.
Okay, to buttress what he has said, these other people are not people in the entertainment space. They didn't go to lobby to get this position. They were identified by virtue of the service, the selfless service
that they've been given.
So we have Nigerians are creative people. The youth are wonderful people. People are doing things. So I think the first thing the government has been able to do right is identifying with us.
Good.
That's awesome. A good step to a good direction.
Yeah.
So this would also encourage people to know that, okay, within your space, you can do something and be spotted out. Like these people
Absolutely.
now, they are getting...
Can I just add on to that, because you're speaking so well about it. And, again, this was an opportunity I was approached to engage in, not due to the fact that I play music for a living, but due to the fact that, I have done so much work with the Copy Foundation, which has become a very, very large operating charity. It's something that I started a few years ago. On a daily, we feed about 70,000 children in Borno State. And this is something that I do because I want to do it, something that I do because I believe in tomorrow's leaders. And so I am not here in any form, to be a celebrity or at all someone that is necessarily using my platform to promote or PR the government. This is something that I believe in. And I think there was very much intensive and particular selecting when it came to who was part of this. And this is something that, is not going away. We're going to stand by it. And it's not just an announcement. We're going to do the groundwork. And I think that was very important to stay.
Thank you so much, Copy.
I am as much a philanthropist as I am a musician.
All right. Miriam, go ahead.
Yes. So, Mr. Fatodu, I would just like although Jumoke has said this alliance is quite fresh, I'm wondering if in the short time that you have aligned yourself with them, what would you say that, thankfully we did this because now we see it better? Are there any one or two things you would say, the moment we collaborated with them, we were able to understand this better and even do better because of that collaboration.
It's really so amazing, so phenomenal. I don't want to mention figures, but I would say even Jumoke sitting next to me here, we were out about 3 days ago, and impulsively, you know, she did so many things that are so amazing, you know, to support development instantly. Even though we are looking at sustainability. And immediately she was interacting with, you know, we went to a primary school, and she was like, if I did not have this opportunity, this kind of exposure, to connection with things that are happening, I wouldn't be able to connect to, you know, contribute in this other. The same thing, DJ Copy. She, you know, she's made some, you know, commitment towards advancing some of the projects around sustainability. And, you know, let me add this one. When we started this, we have some of the volunteers on this platform. They help us with analytics and all of those things to understand the conversation, how it is going on digitally amongst young people. Just yesterday, we recorded over 6,000 searches around Lagos SDG youth, around what, you know, the initiative is all about. So basically, we are gathering momentum, and I believe that this is the journey that we want to take. And let me actually say something. You guys have been doing so much in terms of galvanizing and discussing issues around sustainable development.
Thank you so much, sir.
And I thank you so much. And we also welcome you on board. That can be a category for you.
Okay, no problem. We have our categories already, but I want to ask this final question before I let you go, sir. What is the roadmap of the government? We have 17 sustainable development goals that we need to achieve before 2030. Are you just waiting to see young people who are taking 1, 2, 3, or you have a plan to ensure that the 17 are all catered to?
Okay, fundamentally, the Sustainable Development Goals itself is a very ambitious goal.
It is.
We have 17 goals covering environmental sustainability, social inclusion,
gender equality,
education. We need to safeguard our community and all of that. But the advice that has been given to us is to look at how we can effectively localize and domesticate these problems.
Fantastic.
So we have our peculiar problem in Lagos State, and this is where connected with our things agenda. That is the development agenda of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So that has been connected effectively with Sustainable Development Goals, and we are working really every day. Everybody across MDAs are working to ensure the attainment of the SDG in Lagos State.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lekon.
Thank you.
Fatodu. Thank you, Jumoke Odetola. Thank you, DJ Copy. Thank you so much. And we hope and wish the government and the Youth Alliance the best
in
this. That's all we can take for today. Join us again tomorrow. Bye-bye.